Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, it's Dupe versus Spider-Ham, or it would be if Marvel had any sense. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. How's it going, Mark?
It's going great. Tell me this. Have you ever had a flaming hot Cheeto?
Yes, I have had a flaming hot Cheeto.
Okay, I never have.
Never?
Yeah.
Never once in your life?
Never once in my life have I had a flaming hot Cheeto. Is that weird? Today, I got the reaction that, that was super crazy.
Oh, sure. Well, and not from me right now.
right.
From
you handled that, with
with
aplomb.
grace.
Yes, exactly. I could tell you were thrown, but it's like when you're watching Downton Abbey and
someone has a tear in their jacket,
right?
and you're
or
politely ignoring
exactly, or like Maggie Smith. She does that so well, where she's able to play where she momentarily is surprised, but then hides it behind a calm exterior.
Right.
You did that beautifully.
I've always considered myself Maggie Smith-like. Here's the thing. I try not to. I hate the reaction of you haven't seen, you haven't played, you haven't eaten, you haven't whatever. Because there are a multitude of experiences that we have as human beings, and not any of us have all of them, and not all of us have the same of them. So it's okay if you've never had flaming hot Cheetos.
That's all I was asking for.
I also don't.
Absolution.
I also don't think you're missing that much.
Whoa, that is also a controversial statement, I think.
Well, that may be, and I think that's all. It for me all comes back to the fact that I don't really like Cheetos.
I do like traditional Cheetos. I think we can all agree that Cheeto Puffs are gross and stupid.
See, I can't agree to that. I feel like you like the little puff balls, like the little Cheeto Puff balls.
No, because Cheeto Puff balls don't exist.
Oh, okay.
Those are like cheese puffs.
Yeah, sure.
Cheetos.
You
Puffs,
can understand my confusion, though, right?
Fair. Cheetos Puffs are like you in the process of making a cheese puff, it gets elongated, and they're like, this is a Cheeto Puff.
Wait, so it's just a long.
It's not a ball.
All right, it's not a ball.
No.
It's just a fatter version, a fatter, lighter version of a Cheeto.
Yeah, exactly. They're
Okay.
puffed up.
Okay, but so it still has that sort of kink shape to it, right?
Yeah. No, they're more tubular.
We're never gonna solve this one, I don't think. After this, let's go get some Cheetos, okay? We'll get one of those snack pack variety things.
So, do they have those? I see what you're saying.
Not in one bag,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's a box with a lot of little bags in it.
I exist in the world.
As much packaging as possible is what I'm saying.
Speaking of which,
yes.
Patrick's copy of Sonic Forces.
Yeah, it comes in many packages, including one that could be headed to your home. You want to borrow my copy of Sonic Forces for Nintendo Switch? All you gotta do is email us at nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com. What do you need to include in that email?
Only a mailing address. Doesn't even have to be yours.
But do know that whatever mailing address you send is the one that I will send this copy of Sonic Forces
Right,
to.
and we want to have this copy back sometime.
Right.
So even if you're not sending it to your address, send it to an address that you have access to.
Right. And look, I don't want anyone saying send it to the moon, care of Sea of Tranquility. It's not going to, what's the postage on that even?
Right. Especially because you try to calculate return postage.
Right. And what's media mail from the moon? No one knows.
Hard pass.
That's right. So do that. Borrow my copy of Sonic Forces. Here's another thing you can participate in. Mark and I are holding a Donkey Kong Country 3 high score chase contest.
No, not Donkey Kong Country.
You're right. Just Donkey Kong 3.
You thought it was going to be bad when we said Donkey Kong Country 3. Guess what? It's worse.
It's way worse.
It's Donkey Kong 3.
Now, Donkey Kong 3, of course, is available to be played on your Nintendo Switch Online, NES.
I think that it's
NES,
technically
Nintendo
the NES Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay, great. You can play it there, but that also has a rewind feature. honor system here.
Yeah, don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
And, I guess if you want to play, was there an NES port of Donkey Kong 3?
Yeah, totally.
Like, that counts.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
And
version that is on the
Classic Edition.
NES Switch Online.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that makes sense. That
NES
tracks.
version,
That
yeah.
all tracks. Was it on the Classic Edition?
No, but it was on the Wii and Wii U Virtual Console.
All of that counts.
Right.
And if you find an old arcade cabinet for Donkey Kong 3, we'll count that too.
Right. And so this is an honor system. Again, Billy Mitchell cannot participate in this. Sorry, Billy. We're ruling out as many alleged cheaters as possible.
Right, up front.
Right. And then last thing before we get into the matter at hand.
Oh, wait, sorry. You should send that to us.
Oh, yes. Either by Twitter at NinCart Society or email it to us at Nintendo Cartridge Society
at gmail.com by August 23rd.
That's right. August 23rd or the episode thereabouts is going to be our cutoff date. We don't know if we're recording an episode on the 23rd.
So get it in early.
Yeah, get it in early. Also, this is like the old joke about voting. Do it often, do it early.
Mm-hmm.
Do it early, do it often. This you can submit multiple scores for this.
Oh yeah, sure. Keep practicing.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Also, there might be a prize. There probably won't be, but there could be.
It's the second time you've teased a prize, and I don't think we have a prize. Also, keep sending us your Super Mario Maker 2 levels. I appreciate everyone who has. We will talk more about those that we have received on the next news episode. That'll probably be when we actually talk about these things, not on the topic apps. But I love everything that we've been sent so far. It is fun to play levels and like have some attachment to them.
Yeah, you guys are making good levels.
Yeah. And also keep playing my too difficult levels because that pleases me as well. All right, Mark, shall we get into the topic at hand?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we are determining the characters in Ultimate Marvel. No, crashing and burning here. Mark, help me out.
All right,
Marvel
Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order, has a bunch of playable characters.
Like a ton.
Yeah.
Yes. And we are going to be determining who the 4 best are.
That's right.
Because we were like, should we rank these characters? Should we determine the best one? And neither of those feel, well, first of all, ranking them seems like an impossibility because there's so many.
And we'd have to like assign amiibos to each one, and who's like the amiibo for Thanos? Well, that actually might be an easy one.
Right, because we'd just be like
King
Ganondorf. Like they're both good candidates. Yeah, so we're not going to do that. And determining the single best one also doesn't feel right either because you can play as up to 4 characters at a time in this game. So we decided we are going to come up with the best 4 characters
who may not actually make a good team.
They may not make a good team. Yes. And I think that's fine.
I don't care.
No, neither do I. Also, it should be noted that I have not played this game at all since I played a little bit at E3, and Mark has only played maybe
45 minutes.
Yeah, since the game came out. So we are basing these opinions largely on what we know about these characters from other media. But you're in pretty good hands, right? Because Mark and I are both we're both comics boys. We both like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We know a thing or two about most of these characters. And in some cases, that might be where we stop.
Right.
Elsa Bloodstone, I know 2 things about Elsa Bloodstone.
And I think I know 2 things because you told me those 2 things.
Correct. So, this is, if you're looking for like some strategy for Marvel Ultimate Alliance, like trying to come up with, a good and or effective team, you're not going to find that information here.
But you know that already if you've listened to this show before.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, so how should we start this? Just by possibly reading off the list of characters that we're going to be
I think that's a good starting point.
Considering?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are all the playable characters that are available at launch, which means we are not including Cyclops and Colossus that are going to be added as free DLC later on, and we're not including any of the characters in the upcoming DLC packs. So Blade, Punisher, Moon Knight, they're not in here either. Morbius is the 4th one. I just had that information. I feel good about that. Okay, so here are the characters that we're talking about: Black Panther, Black Widow, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Crystal, Daredevil, Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Drax, Elektra, Elsa Bloodstone, Falcon, Gamora, Ghost Rider, Groot, and Rocket Raccoon. They are evidently one character in this game. Hawkeye, Hulk, Iron Fist, Iron Man, Loki, Luke Cage, Magneto, Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Storm, Thanos, Thor, Venom, Wasp, and Wolverine.
Whoa, Magneto is playable in this game.
Yeah.
Is he the only villain on this list?
Thanos. He's pretty villainous.
Who?
Thanos? Also, it says Spider-Man here. I can only assume that is Peter
Parker.
And not, when Dr. Octavius was inside the body of Peter Parker.
But I haven't played that far to know.
Yeah,
so
there's no
maybe.
way to know. That could be some Superior Spider-Man stuff going on there. No one knows. And Hulk, right? He's he can be bad sometimes.
Naughty, if nothing else.
Naughty, if nothing else. Ditto Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say Magneto and Thanos is far and away the most villainous of the villains on here. I'm a little surprised to see him on this list as a playable character.
I know. Now it makes me want to play the game more. How does this shake out? Maybe I could be informative for once.
I mean, we'll see about that. But here, I guess my first order of business here will be to take Thanos off this list.
Yeah.
Because look, we already decided that we are in favor of heroes over villains. See our earlier conversation about the Splatfests for Splatoon 2. So there's no gray area with Thanos. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, totally.
So, off the list. Is there anyone else early on here that you want to just remove?
I don't think Ghost Rider has any chance for me.
So just to review what version of Ghost Rider this is, it's just like the regular dude with the car, right?
Johnny.
No, sorry, with the
motorcycle.
Johnny
Blaze.
Motorcycle. Yes.
Johnny Motorcycle. Yes.
The kid with the car,
Mm-hmm.
whose name I'm blanking on right now. I like that version, but yeah, I'll agree with you. Let's get rid of Ghost Rider. All right, we've made 2 cuts already. I feel pretty good about this.
Yeah, we're cruising.
All right. Let's go back to the top of the order here.
Okay.
And maybe just kind of cruise through, and any easy cuts we'll just do it, right? Black Panther, I don't think an easy cut, right? So let's keep Black Panther. Black Widow,
I'm not ready to say goodbye to yet.
yeah. Captain America, we will revisit. Captain Marvel.
So I don't have any affinity for Captain Marvel.
You don't care for Carol Danvers at all.
No.
I do like Carol. I'm just not ready quite yet, and I think there are some easier cuts
Totally.
than Captain Marvel.
Like Crystal.
Yeah, so Crystal is an Inhuman, and is the sister to Medusa, and yeah, man, if we are just dealing with Inhumans, then great, then I'm interested and all of that. But she is the only Inhuman on this list of playable characters. Where's Medusa? Where's Black Bolt? Is there going to be a future Inhumans patch at some point? DLC pack, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Inhumans in general, I've never really liked any of the characters that much.
They're weird.
Yeah, and so immediately when you're in Inhuman, like I think the idea of Medusa is fun. I like the idea of Black Bolt.
And Lockjaw.
I love Lockjaw.
A giant teleporting dog. I mean, that's awesome.
It's always just felt to me like one of those assignments, like when you were reading comics, if you had to write about Inhumans, or if you were someone who was assigned to write Inhumans, that has to be a very tough assignment. Because I just don't think the universe is very fun.
I mean, there is a lot of oppression in the Inhuman history, and they kind of keep going back to it. Yeah, it's like if mutants weren't fun, is basically what it boils down to. Although shout out to Charles Soule's run on the Inhumans from a couple of years ago, and the Inhuman that he made up named Reader, who is blind, but 3 times a day he can read something and manifest it. Make it real. So he carries Braille cards with him, and he also has a dog and a sword. He's awesome. Reader is the best. But we're gonna
Reader's not on the list.
Reader's not on the list, and neither is Crystal anymore. Next up, Daredevil.
Maybe not ready to cut.
Sure. Daredevil is there's a lot of good history around Daredevil. Deadpool.
I don't really like Deadpool.
I love Deadpool, but let's take him off the list. Actually, well, I don't know. Deadpool as a video game character, because I think we should at least take into consideration that we are talking about a video game.
Yeah, okay.
Deadpool as a video game character is maybe perfect, right? Like, it's just enough self-awareness to like give us the kind of like humor and writing that we like in games like The Messenger, and then kind of the same move set to be like The Messenger.
But I also
do I just like The Messenger?
Because I also feel like Peter Parker could very easily fill that like void.
Yeah, but like a little bit more wholesomely.
Right.
Okay, let's take him off. Bye, Deadpool. Next up, Doctor Strange.
I don't like Doctor Strange.
Is it the cape?
I think it's honestly, it's the cape combined with the facial hair.
The facial hair is a problem. He's got to get that thing under control.
Yeah, it's just a lot. Like the whole look is a lot, and most of my exposure to Doctor Strange has been from the MCU.
Yeah,
where he's just kind of like Iron Man,
right? Where he's just like Iron Man, but like choking on that American accent. I mean, no, I do like Doctor Strange, but yeah, I feel like he is best approached as a character who's like outside of our reach. The fact that you're able to play as him feels wrong to me. Like he should be an NPC that like helps get you out of some big trouble.
But I do understand the appeal of having like a spellcaster.
Yeah, but I mean, there are a ton of other spellcasters. Like, just dip into mutants for a little bit, and you got a mutant named Magic. Just use her. Next up, Drax.
I like Drax.
I like Drax too. If I'm picking a Guardian, I'm going to pick like a Guardian of the Galaxy. I'm gonna go with Groot and Rocket because they're so weird.
Yeah, that's true. So, Drax, I think we can cut. Star-Lord, I think we can cut.
Wow. Okay, let's just do it. Let's start making drastic cuts here.
Well, only because I think you're right that if I were to pick out of this list a Guardian of the Galaxy character (S) to play as,
right,
it would definitely be Groot and Rocket Raccoon.
So does that mean we're also cutting Gamora at this point?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Even though Gamora would be my second choice.
Yeah, ditto. But like, let's be real here. We're doing the 4 best characters in this game. 2 of them can't be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
2 of them could be Avengers. In fact, the other 3 could all be Avengers. That is acceptable.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So that takes us back to Elektra. Ooh, I gotta say, to the curb, Elektra. Like, I like the character, but
I agree that we should cut her.
Yeah.
But I will for what I have for no good reason that I could ever articulate.
Yes.
A real appreciation of Jennifer Garner.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
You
like those Capital One commercials?
Love being sold credit cards. No, I really think it goes back to Alias. Alias was one of like the first serialized TV shows that I remember like really getting into. I think I didn't even see it on TV. I bought like the season 1 DVD set just on somebody's recommendation.
Yeah. I love that, like, that era of TV show, like, that people our age have this, like, this realization that, like, a show can be this heavily serialized, and that it makes such an impression on us, and we just, like, love it forever. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer is another one of those. And if Sarah Michelle Gellar played a Marvel character at any point, people would love that character forever because of Buffy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see where you can have some real love for Elektra.
Yeah, and so I mean, I've never even seen Elektra, like the Elektra movie.
But you've seen Daredevil though, right?
Yeah. That's enough for me.
All right, we're gonna cut her. Next up, the aforementioned Elsa Bloodstone. So she's like a monster hunter who wields guns, and I mostly really only know her from Secret Wars a couple years ago, where she was like tromping around maybe Weird World or somewhere like that. And like I liked the stories because they were so just like off the wall crazy. But I don't have really enough exposure to her in like the normal Marvel continuity to really have a handle on who she is.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
All right. So taking her out, Falcon is next. Let's leave him on there for now.
Okay.
We both just did a sort of like dance to the side of like,
Right,
I don't know what to do with that.
Wishy-washy.
Hawkeye.
I really like Hawkeye from the Matt Fraction
David Aja run.
run of Hawkeye.
Yeah, me too.
I'm excited that the TV series
Yes, the
seems
Disney
to
Plus
be
series,
based around it. Not super excited that Pouty Mick Catface is going to be playing him in that series. Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
He's been playing him for a while.
I know, but like he's never been that version of Hawkeye to me.
Yeah, sure.
And as an actor, I've never like thought of him as being able to portray that type of Hawkeye.
I like him a lot in Arrival. But I don't know if that is like the same. Yeah, I guess we'll see how if they're able to do Clint Barton the way like I expect to see him. But also we're gonna get a Kate Bishop in that.
Yeah,
which I guess we're not litigating here whether the Disney Plus series is gonna be any good, but maybe just we're mentioning here that we're not gonna cut Hawkeye just yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, Hulk.
I like Hulk. He has to stay on the list.
Hulk stays on the list. Next up, Iron Fist.
Easy cut.
You're gone, Danny Rand. No one cares. There's got to be there will be someday when I encounter something where I'm like, oh, Iron Fist. Okay, cool.
I like the Ed Brubaker run.
Yeah,
of
sure.
Iron Fist.
Was that a Heroes for Hire or just straight up Iron Fist?
I honestly can't remember at the moment.
Yeah. So you're right. There's not nothing, but I just don't have any.
I also think he's just a little bit of a character out of time.
Yeah.
Like we don't need I think it's appropriate that a Shang-Chi movie is coming.
Right. We don't need White Boys Go to Karate movie.
Yeah, we just don't.
Next up, Iron Man.
I'm fine cutting him.
Wow. Bold moves here, but let's do it.
I mean, yeah, from the comic books, I never really liked Iron Man.
I feel like he is super hard in the comics. Like I love the MCU version of him. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark, and that's great. I feel like I have yet to find a run on Iron Man that I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun in the comics.
Yeah, I think it really is true that he's always been kind of a C tier character in the comics.
Yeah.
That from just like the performance by Robert Downey Jr. was propelled into being this like headliner.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think even in the comics during his run in the MCU, they were never able to like capitalize on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that makes Iron Man that makes Tony Stark at least so compelling in the MCU is like based in like audio and visual and like all these things that you can't do on a still comics page. Like you can't the way the character dialogue like overlaps,
right? And like the rapport that like he has with like different actors and everything,
right? And it's also like a kind of sexiness that doesn't really work on a comic book page, where no one's like, oh yeah, look at Robert Downey Jr.'s abs. Like, save that for Thor and Captain America.
But speaking of characters who I think like they were able to take some of the je ne sais quoi from what happened in the MCU and turn it to its own thing in the comics is Loki.
Yes, Loki is next on our list. What do you think? You think you want to leave him in here? Or you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I like Loki in both the comics and film, even though they are like pretty different characters.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I think Loki is one of those characters that is versatile enough that like a million different writers have a million different things to say with him, and like it's always fun and compelling, and there's no like cognitive dissonance with like having to justify all those characters together because he's so duplicitous. That like it's fine. Like it just always works.
Yeah.
Also, there was that great. No, it doesn't matter. Loki staying. Luke Cage.
Of the like Heroes for Hire, Luke Cage is probably my favorite.
So isn't technically Heroes for Hire just Iron Fist and Luke Cage?
Oh, I thought Jessica Jones was also.
Oh yeah,
part of that.
maybe she's part of that at some point too. Yeah, I don't need Luke Cage on this list.
I think compared to
me.
like other characters, yeah, easy to be removed.
Magneto.
This is another one where I'm like shaking back and forth, being like, I don't really know what to do with Magneto.
It's tough because he's another one who is largely villainous, right? Even though like at any point in time you could put any X-Men in that list.
I also don't think that he's very much fun. And I think what I value, what I will probably end up like leaning towards as this list gets whittled down, is like, are these like charismatic, fun characters? And I don't think Magneto's ever really like very much fun. I remember this was probably like 5 years ago. There was just a Magneto series.
Yeah.
And it was so like brooding. And
it was
dark. That it was
Cullen Bunn and Gabriel Walta, I believe. Which like it looked nice, but was a little bit too like brooding, kind of one note.
Which like I get it, like not every character has to be like wisecracking and happy-go-lucky, but it is definitely more what is appealing to me.
Per House of X #1, which came out yesterday, he's an Omega level mutant. His magnetic powers are an Omega level power, which means
I didn't know there were power levels.
Yeah, so Omega level mutant is like a phrase that has been tossed around for a while. And Jonathan Hickman with this issue of House of X has defined what Omega level means and also relegated it to specific powers. So it's not like Magneto is a Omega level mutant. He has this power that is Omega level, which basically means that there's no way to improve on it. Like it is as powerful as it could possibly be.
Gotcha.
But let's get rid of Magneto.
Yeah, and I mean we've all seen Dragon Ball Z, so there's always ways to be more powerful than
he could be
Super
power. Saiyan Magneto. Next up is Miles Morales.
Love Miles Morales.
Me too. So we stay in. Similar vein, Miss Marvel.
Easy keep.
Yeah, easy keep. Nightcrawler.
I love Nightcrawler.
Keeping him?
Yep.
Great. Psylocke.
Don't love Psylocke.
No, here's the thing. What is the phrase that's used to describe her sword? It's like the sum totality of her psionic energy or something like that. It's real dumb getting rid of Psylocke. Scarlet Witch.
I would be fine cutting Scarlet Witch. Like, compared to the other heavy hitters on here, I don't think Scarlet Witch really stands a chance.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And, you know, when one of the big, like, beats for her is no more mutants, I'm like, yeah, I like mutants. Don't do that. Spider-Gwen. I loves me some Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, I think this is another one that's hard to cut at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, we are going to have to cut it down to one spider person, and at that point, I'm going to die. Or all the spider people. Maybe we have to cut them all.
Well, no, or it's 3 spider people and Groot and Rocket Raccoon.
Right. Which is a good list, frankly.
Wouldn't be terrible.
Spider-Man is obviously staying on the list for now. Storm. Oh, man.
I love Storm.
I love Storm.
Yeah.
Thor.
I could cut Thor, I think.
We're cutting Thor. Why?
I think compared to just I like Thor. I like there's lots of incarnations of Thor that I like, but I think compared to other characters on this list, I don't know that Thor is going to stand that much longer. Same with Venom, who's next.
Oh yeah.
I actually don't really like, or that's not true. I like versions of Venom.
Yeah.
The Flash Thompson version of Venom I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm. I like the what do they call that? Agent Venom?
Right. Yeah, where he had like returned from Iraq and had lost his legs in the war, and like the Venom suit really was like a superpower for him.
Yeah, and less of like now in the comics they're really playing like the addiction angle of it, which is cool too.
Yeah.
But like we tried to watch the Venom movie over Comic-Con this weekend, because last year we had a tradition of every night that we went back to the hotel we would start Suicide Squad and watch it while falling asleep, and we would only ever get through like the first hour or so. We made it through about the first hour of Venom, and we don't get to see Eddie Brock as Venom.
Oh really?
In the first hour.
Wow.
It's I did not care for it. Venom is gone. Next is the Wasp.
Evangeline Lilly is another one of those characters because she was in Lost.
Yes.
That I am like forever a fan.
Yeah, likewise. That being said, there's no way she makes it into the top 4.
Very fair.
But I love you, Evangeline Lilly. Goodbye. Next up, Wolverine. So Wolverine.
Sorry, can I just share one Evangeline Lilly like anecdote?
Yeah, I would.
Before we move on.
I would love you to share.
Okay, so when she's doing press for the Hobbit movies, right?
Yeah,
and we know that the production of the Hobbit movies, especially the third one, was like really fraught.
Yes.
Or so really it was like the last 2 because they were intended to be one movie. Very fraught. Lots of reshoots, lots of studio notes and everything.
Right.
And she's
also a lot of like figuring it out on the fly.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So she's doing one like a press interview, one of those where like they're sitting on director's chairs. It's like black velvet curtain in the background with like a spotlight on like a poster of the Hobbit.
Yeah.
4 armies. How many armies were there? 7
5.
armies.
Battle of 5 armies.
Somewhere in there.
We got the orcs. We got do the orcs count as an army? They're goblins. First of all,
right? They're
Patrick. Goblins, dwarves, elves, the men of Lake Town, and the eagles. Right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. So she is talking. They're just like talking about all of this, and somehow it comes up that like the love triangle that was in it, and she's saying that like when she signed up for The Hobbit, she was explicit like no love triangle. Like I'm not interested in that.
Right.
No love triangle. And then the studio mandates, and she gets like the scripts for the reshoots.
Yeah, and she's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. And you could just tell that she's like so annoyed that it happened, and that was like what happened to her character and like what she had to play.
Yeah. Man, I loved her on the like publicity tour for Ant-Man and the Wasp as well. Like she's just awesome.
Yeah, when people would be like asking about the finale for Lost and was she disappointed?
Yeah.
Did you hear her response to that?
No.
Where she was just like, art is not about like meeting people's expectations.
God, I love
right?
it
Like
so much.
art is about, just like putting out ideas into the world and letting you make your own interpretation of what that means.
Yes. Art doesn't owe you anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's the best. Maybe we should add Evangeline Lilly to this list.
Right. If she was like on this list,
yeah,
an easy keep.
Yep. And so okay.
Wolverine.
I like Wolverine, especially for video games, largely because of the Marvel vs. Capcom series. I just like he feels as much like a like quintessential fighting game character as like Ken and Ryu and Scorpion. Like he feels like fundamental to me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. When we were talking about Deadpool, you had mentioned that like, Deadpool is like that perfect video game character. And
yes.
I totally feel that way about Wolverine.
Yeah.
He has like a great moveset for video games.
Totally.
He has like little like pithy statements.
Yep.
He calls everybody bub. That's just fun in a video game.
It's so cool.
So that's an easy keep for me as well.
Actually, let's at this point, well, should we review who we have, or I'm about to suggest cutting Deadpool.
Oh, I thought we already did. We did.
Oh, we did already.
We already cut Deadpool. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest cutting Deadpool.
Done.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, let's review who we have left.
Why don't you run down the list for us, Mark?
Black Panther, Black Widow, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Daredevil, Falcon, Groot and Rocket Raccoon, Hawkeye, Hulk, Loki, Miles Morales, Ms. Marvel, Nightcrawler, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man, Storm, and Wolverine.
Okay, so just going through right then, I had gut reactions, and maybe we should cut to Daredevil, Falcon, and Nightcrawler.
Daredevil, yes. Falcon, yes.
Okay.
Nightcrawler is tougher for me, but fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I won't fight that one too much.
I mean, I love Nightcrawler too. He's obviously the maybe he's the coolest part of the he's the best part of the like Fox X-Men movies. That one scene at the beginning of
in the White House
in the White House is so cool. And I know that they try to like repeat that in future movies with the fast one.
Oh yeah, Quicksilver,
thank you. But like it's never as good. He's just so cool.
Yeah.
But so long, Nightcrawler. Were there any as you were reading down that you were like, why is this still here?
I kind of feel that way about Hawkeye a little bit.
Sure. I mean, that hurts me a little bit because, like,
I like him a lot as a character.
yeah,
I don't know if, like, as a video game character that he's particularly compelling.
right. Unless you're doing like a whole archery game.
Right.
Man, so Mark and I used to write on a comic book site called Retcon Punch, and there was a commenter on there who was so averse to Green Arrow and Hawkeye, and he always referred to them as dorks with bows, which is how I thought about those characters forever. And even now, like, they're
it's a whole genre too.
It's a whole genre, dorks with bows, and like it's it's good. That it always just like sticks out in my head. But Hawkeye, you're a dork with a bow. You're cut. What was there anyone else in here that you thought maybe maybe we should take out?
No, I'd be pretty willing to fight for most of these.
Okay, so I think now we need to see if we've got any like themes or anything in here where we can, because again, we do have 3 spider people in here.
Right. And we have a couple of X-Men as well.
Okay, so the X-Men that we have in here are Wolverine and Storm.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah. But it wouldn't be like impossible for us to have 2 X-Men in the final 4, right? All right, and then
well, can you like? Because for me, I like Storm.
Yeah.
But Storm up against Wolverine, like, is no contest.
Yeah, if we have to make the choice between Storm and Wolverine, I go Wolverine every time.
Right. But we don't have to yet, is your point.
That is my point.
Okay.
Is that we don't have to yet.
Okay, so here's kind of a controversial one that I am willing to put out here.
Okay.
Is Spider-Man.
Okay, defend your decision.
Peter Parker as Spider-Man. I didn't like grow up reading Spider-Man comics outside of like the weekly or like the daily syndicated one.
Yeah, sure.
That you could find in your newspaper's like comic book page.
Yeah.
Or like comics section.
Right, like you were just reading Garfield and now it's Spider-Man.
Right, and now it's Spider-Man and he's like
Tracy's
married to Mary Jane and he has like 40-year-old adult problems. And he's occasionally doing like superhero stuff, sometimes by accident.
Yeah.
And so out of like Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen, it's much easier for me to say goodbye to Peter Parker.
I will back that play, and especially because, like you say, we've got both Miles and Gwen, and like one of the promises of Spider-Man is like a young hero who's like trying to figure it out, and you know you can't the character can't be that forever, but that's what Miles and Gwen are right now. So let's get rid of Spider-Man. Wow. I want to get rid of the Hulk.
Okay, why?
Well, so
I like the Hulk because the Hulk is really versatile, right? Like the Hulk is so many things.
Right.
He's like a big, dumb, strong guy.
Yeah.
But he's also like a really thoughtful intellectual.
Yeah, he is all of these things, but there's something.
And in Endgame, you want to have sex with him.
Oh, yes. All right. Okay, but if we
are you cutting him out of jealousy?
If any of these characters are saved simply because we want to have sex with them,
I mean, it's gonna
then
be
they would all be saved, right? All right. We'll leave Hulk put for now. There's something about him just being like a muscle bound like smasher that I don't.
But I don't really think
love.
That's all he is.
I know he is also the scientist Bruce Banner, but like he's not like a leader like Captain America. He's not gathering intel like Black Widow. He doesn't bring like, you know, the technology of Wakanda like Black Panther. I feel like he is.
Are you making a distinction between Bruce Banner and the Hulk?
Oh, because he does in fact bring some sort of like gamma-based technology. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and like just a ton of knowledge. He's super smart.
He is very smart. Yeah. All right. We'll leave him. We'll leave him put for now.
For me, I think Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel is
gotta go.
Not a gotta go, but
it's gotta go, Mark.
Well, gotta go.
All right, we'll kill her. So long, Captain Marvel. We are now down to Black Panther, Black Widow, Captain America, Groot and Rocket Raccoon, Hulk, Loki, Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, Spider-Gwen, Storm, and Wolverine. I don't think Black Widow should be on this list anymore.
Yeah, she's up against some heavy hitters.
Really heavy hitters. So let's take her out. Where to now? We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have to cut six of these.
More. Okay. Well, I think that I could cut Groot and Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah. That's fair.
Well,
no, it is because we said, look, if any of the Guardians of the Galaxy are making it through the final round, it is going to be Groot and Rocket Raccoon. But that was an if statement.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the answer is no, it's not. They're not. They're not.
Yeah, they're not going to make it to the final round.
Sorry, Groot and Rocket Raccoon. What about Loki?
I think Loki's another one of those where, well, all right, since we're not cutting them in like order of importance, then yeah, I think we can cut Loki at this point.
Loki is
and
being
we
cut.
can probably cut Hulk. I mean, in all honesty,
sure.
Like at this point,
I'm also I love her and I love the design of Spider-Gwen, but I think if it comes down to two Spider people, Miles or Gwen, then I'm gonna go Miles every time.
Mm-hmm.
Though it saddens me to see her go.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That brings us down to Black Panther, Captain America, Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, Storm, and Wolverine, which is a pretty strong lineup of characters.
Yeah.
Like, these are all-time great characters. Let me ask you this. Is there any world where we don't have Captain America in this final four?
I don't think so for me. Have we done a 433 about who our favorite Avenger is? Because
no.
My answer... Oh, we haven't? Well, my answer was...
I don't think so.
Yeah, my answer was Captain America.
Yeah, I love Captain America. So
no, I don't think there is a world where Captain America is not on the final list.
I'm putting a little star next to him. He's on our final list.
Okay, great.
He is safe, which means we have 3 slots for Black Panther, Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, Storm, and Wolverine.
Do you know what? Okay, so they are very different characters, but I think that Miles Morales and Ms. Marvel are amazing characters.
Do you think they're too similar?
No. I don't know. But I think when we were talking about like cutting Peter Parker, that was kind of like an easy cut for me. And I think one of the reasons that's true, and one of the reasons I really like this version of Ms. Marvel, is that there is something really appealing to these characters who are like young adults.
Yes.
And who are grappling with these superpowers. That's like weirdly universal, even though I'm way past that age.
Totally.
Right? There's something like very appealing about that part of like somebody discovering themselves and where they fit into the world and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's also yeah, I mean, totally that like discovering yourself and how you fit in the world and just like how your body changes at that age is like very nicely mapped onto discovery of superpowers. And Miss Marvel is an Inhuman. We have another Inhuman on this list.
Oh, we did it.
We did it. Oh my gosh. If anyone has been shouting at their phone for the last 25 minutes, I'm sorry. I see it. Miss Marvel Kamala Khan is, of course, an Inhuman. I'm so sorry.
We fixed it before we had to debug
it. That's right.
So I'm loath to cut either of them at this point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I see our final 4. Here's my pitch for what the final 4 are. Captain America, Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, and Wolverine. So that cuts Storm and Black Panther. It cuts 2 people of color. I don't feel great about it. But we keep Miles and Kamala.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think you're right.
All right. Let's cut Storm right now for sure.
Okay.
because only one X-Men is making it through here, and it's going to be Wolverine because it's a video game. I think that's it. I think Black Panther's got to go. Mark, do you sign off on that?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, so our final and definitive 4 best playable characters in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, are as follows: Captain America, Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, and Wolverine.
I think we did it.
I think we did a really good job, Mark. Let's close this out. But if you don't think we did a good job, you can always write to us and let us know who your 4 favorite characters are in this. Just write to us at Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com.
And really, I want to stress
Yeah.
to Jennifer Garner and Evangeline Lilly, who I assume are listening,
Right.
that like this has nothing to do with your work.
In fact, the characters were cut in spite of the fact that look, if this list could just be the Wasp, Elektra, Jennifer Garner, and Evangeline Lilly, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Maybe that's the true answer in our hearts.
And it always will be. That's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Remember, you can rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, and share wherever you share stuff. On Twitter, I'm at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MKE Mitchell, and the show is at Nin Cart Society. We also have a Facebook page, which is just Nintendo Cartridge Society. Olivia Duncan.
You just made one listener happy.
Well, I don't know why I botched that. I meant to skip forward. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers saying thanks for listening.
Campfire.